got your back, well, is you feeling that? I put one hand up, can you repeat that? Tryna take my man, see, I don't need that. So don't play yourself. Don't play yourself. Thank you.
What's up everyone, Ali here, and welcome to the channel. I'll be starting post notification shoutouts for the first subscriber to comment and like my videos. Stick around to the end to hear today's shoutouts. Now, let's get into the video. From the liveliness of Las Vegas comes the vibrant and dynamic girl group known as 702. The American R&B all-girl group was formed around 1993 after the comedian Sinbad discovered them. The group initially started as a quartet, including the two identical twins, Irish and Orish, as well as their older sister, Lemisha and Amelia Childs. Misha, the eldest of the Grinstead sisters, was born on July 10, 1978, and the twins were given birth to on June 2nd, 1980. Sadly, Orish Grinstead, the original member of the group, died on April 20th, 2008. Reports say that she died from kidney failure. The sisters, just like most artists from their neighborhood, showed a keen interest in making music at an early age. Because of their desire to make music, they all went to the Las Vegas Academy of Performing Arts in their hometown. To showcase their skills, they were all very fond of performing in the lobby of Caesar's Palace. The lobby of Caesar's Palace was their usual singing spot, until a particular day when their music caught the attention of comedian Sinbad. Sinbad instantly knew that they had talent and quickly convinced them to go for a music competition in Atlanta. Sinbad believed in them so much that he went as far as going to their family home to get their parents' permission to take them to Atlanta.
Well, it starts off with Sinbad, and basically we were actually kind of like
girls. I was about 13 or 12.
Anyway, so we ran into Sinbad at the Forum Shops in, the Caesar's Palace? And we basically begged him to sing for us, and we were actually having trouble getting into the Jack the Rapper music convention at the time. And so he helped us get on, and he actually came to our house. We was living in the ghetto. He came in a little small Porsche, by the way. You know, as big as Sinbad.
Yeah, how did he get in a little small Porsche?
We love you, Sinbad.
Yeah, but he needed help. Okay.
Yeah, no, but
When it came down to the day of the competition, luck seemed to escape them as they arrived late. However, thanks to Sinbad's influence, they gained access to the competition. Sinbad coined their first group name, Sweeter Than Sugar. They went on with the competition, and it was then that Sinbad realized that he did not make a mistake. They were talented. Even though the sisters did not win, they were very close to clinching the title. The group then met with Michael Bivins of New Edition and Belle Biv DeVoe, who obliged to work with them. The group was then christened 702 by Bivins, the area code for their hometown, Las Vegas. After rigorous sessions, Amelia and Irish fell from Bivins' graces and were replaced by Kameelah Williams and Tiffany Villarreal, who both happened to be their classmates. During their time in the game, 702 made an impact. However, like most R&B groups, things went left, forcing the group to disappear from the public eye. So the question is, what happened to 702? Although the group was formed around 1993, they did not release their debut album until 3 years later, but before then, one of the new intakes, Tiffany Villarreal, left to pursue a solo career, and they went back to 3 members in the group. With just Kameelah Williams, Lemisha, and Irish, Bivin began working with different producers and songwriters to create the perfection he needs for the group, which took quite a while. After 3 years of recording, Bivins finally got the right feel, and the group released their debut single on August 27, 1996. Their debut was massive, and Stilo immediately became the group's signature song due to its tremendous commercial success. Stilo, which featured Missy Elliott, charted at the number 32 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 Singles chart. It also did exceptionally well on the Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop Singles chart. Internationally, it took up the number 41 spot on the United Kingdom Singles chart. More impressively, Stilo sat comfortably at the 9th spot on the United Kingdom R&B chart. The single grew massively and eventually received a gold certification by the RIAA. An alternate version of the song got released and was used as the intro music for 1990s Nickelodeon TV show titled Cousin Skeeter. After the success of Stilo, the group released their first album titled No Doubt, which debuted at number 82 on the Billboard 200. The album spawned 3 singles: Stilo, Get It Together, and All I Want. Get It Together, which was the album's second single, became the standout track on the project. Peaking at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 3 on the R&B charts, and number 7 on the US Rhythmic Top 40 chart. By 1997, the single sold about 800,000 copies in the US, prompting Billboard to name it one of the biggest selling records of that year. The album's third single, All I Want, also managed to hit the Billboard Hot 100 and got featured in a Nickelodeon film entitled Good Burger. Whilst enjoying their success, they kept it going and began collaborating with more artists. They also headlined for the New Edition reunion tour and appeared in Sister Sister and Moesha. Now around the time the group started recording their second album, the eldest of the Grinstead sisters gave birth to a son named Lyndon. Misha left the music scene to cater for her newborn and was replaced briefly by Irish. It wasn't until 3 years when the group released their second album titled 702. This time the group saw massive success. The album came in at number 34 on the Billboard Top 200 chart, and by 2002 the album had reached platinum status. The first single off the album, called Where My Girls At, was interestingly written by Missy Elliott. The single was a massive hit, both commercially and on the charts. The single Where My Girls At hit the 4th spot on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. The ladies were clearly on a roll. But eventually, like all groups, there comes a time when not much is going on. For about 2 years, the group went in a hiatus. And the main reason that happened is because one group member, Kameelah, decided to leave the group. For reasons initially not known, she pursued a solo career under Faith Evans and her husband's managerial eyes.
Well, initially, this was after the Where My Girls At album, the second album, which was 702, self-titled, and that was our biggest album. It was with one of our biggest hits, Where My Girls At, and we just kind of, I think, were just in a space of everything just being too much. You know, we had all the success and whatnot, but we were still kind of young too. You know, and I think after a while, the girls probably started feeling a little some type of way, I'm sure, for me just coming in and like becoming the lead singer. And I think eventually it just took its toll, because we didn't really talk about it much, but there were definitely like, some feelings of animosity towards me, of course.
After leaving the group, she worked under the management firm Pedigree MGI Management. Whilst under the label, she sang backup for quite a number of artists and did her own thing. By 2003, the group was finally ready to come together again. However, Kameelah needed to be replaced, and so Cree was added to the group. This is where things began to fall apart for the girls. When they released their first comeback single called Pootie Tang, it was a massive flop on the charts. Its impact was so minimal that it didn't make it to any charts. Their momentum slowed down severely from there on out. Despite their fallback, they started working on their third album called Star. Before then, Kameelah and Misha had returned, and for reasons not known to them, they let go of Cree, reverting to their former group. A few weeks after the album's release, it entered the Billboard 200 at number 45 and did even better on the US R&B Hip Hop Albums chart, coming in at number 22. However, even though the group was back and the girls were making music together again, the group's album Star pales in comparison to their previous album. In essence, Star didn't do what it was supposed to do. In the same year after the release of Star, the group disbanded, and each artist went their separate ways. The real reason for their disbandment was not known until years later when Kameelah broke the ice. Our story has not been told. When it comes to the demise of 702, I feel like I was the blame. I feel like the public perception is that I left to pursue a solo career, but that's not the case. We had a lot of internal issues. There was a lot of jealousy and animosity towards me because I was brought on to give the group a voice lift. It was kind of like I was put in that position, and it was hard for all of us. I felt bad because I didn't want to be the one responsible for them feeling like they were no longer worthy of singing lead. And then they felt bad because they were like, this chick coming in and taking all the vocals. It was difficult. Now, to be fair, I understand why Misha and Irish had an issue with Kameelah. Misha and Irish started the group, so when Kameelah was brought in and started taking all the vocals, they clearly must have felt some type of way. Kameelah further explained that those issues eventually weakened their bond and led to their disbandment. She went on to say, "It just became a toxic and unhealthy environment. I just felt uncomfortable after a while, and it got ugly by the third album. I was like, I was not happy anymore. I think people need to know that I left the group because there was just all of that shade towards me. I didn't want to deal with it anymore." Now, Kameelah had more to say. According to her, the reason their third and final album flopped is because Motown did not promote it very well. Also, the group wasn't very active, forcing her to leave and do things on her own. Now, Kameelah remained active in the music scene due to her solo career and television stint. Even though the group disbanded, she didn't let that faze her, as she went on to work with several acts. In 2010, she informed the public that she was permanently working solo, and also became an advocate for autism awareness after her son Zach was diagnosed with autism in 2013. Kameelah was also spotted on the third season of R&B Divas Atlanta. Irish and her family recently invested in rental property at High Rise Loft in Las Vegas, and she's currently enjoying the season of her 40s.
Is it just me, or has the 40s been good to y'all? Because the 40s have been so good to me. It's like I got a new life. I'm reborn. I love my 40s. Amen.
The eldest of the Grinstead sisters, Lemisha, pursued a solo career as well and released a song in 2007 called What I Got. She tied the knot later on and is currently a wedding chapel manager. Now, around 2020, Lemisha made a startling announcement, claiming that her husband and son kicked her out of the house. "I'm homeless, as Sir Champ 21 and T Fields 01 kicked me out. After all that I've done for them, they threw me out like a piece of trash when I was at my lowest." Misha also revealed that she took care of her husband's father before he passed away and guided her husband through the grieving process. But when she was going through hard times, nobody was there for her. His father stayed with us for years before he passed away in our home a few months ago. I was there for him through the whole thing. Never in a million years did I think he would kick me out at the lowest time in my life. At Sir Champ 21, "But you a man though. You couldn't let me get back on my feet before you threw me out of your mother's house? I'm your children's mother." 702 get about 850,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and their most popular songs on the platform are Where My Girls At, Stilo, Get It Together, I Still Love You, and You Don't Know. Now, around 2017, the group reunited for the first time to perform at the Soul Train Awards. Even though the group hasn't dropped an album since the early 2000s, the group decided to reunite and go on tour together, giving their fans a chance to see something they haven't seen for over a decade. This week's post notification shoutouts go to Rain, Mr. Check Yourself, and Ginger Wingerful. Thanks for being a part of the fam and turning on your notification bell. That's it for me, man. It's your boy Ali. What happened to 702 in your opinion? Let me know down below. Knew what happened to video dropping next week. Until then, click here to watch the next video. Till next time, adios.